Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. It's Monday, so here we are with coffee, tea, thoughts, and conversations with the BizChicks. We want to welcome everybody listening live and on the replay. And for those of you in the clubhouse, we just want to give you a big shout out. Hey, guys, so glad to have you here. We come every Monday with a different topic, and so we're going to get this party started. I'm here in the studio with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. We just want to welcome you to the show and let you know that we are so excited to have you here. Friend, what's going on?
What's next?
Oh, okay.
That is the topic of our conversation today. A lot of times, what we are doing is we have a lot of goals. Remember that year we put down 100 things that you'd like to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a time frame on it, but 100 things that you'd like to accomplish. So I'm asking you to pull that list out again
Mm-hmm.
and go through and find out, cross off the things that you've accomplished and then press forward to the next thing on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think there's an error in success that once you get there, you can just stop, park, lay on the beach, and do nothing else. But you can't stop at that last point. Um,
Mm.
when you stop and just park, you die. You begin to start dying.
Okay. Okay, so you begin to, it's almost like hibernating, huh? You just sort of take yourself out of the active participation in growth.
Right. And because if you're not growing, you're dying. If you
Mm.
don't keep moving, you die. What happens if you just, okay, we just stop in the middle of the road and just, you're going to die. You'll begin to wither away. There's something that they talk about. A body in motion needs to stay in motion.
Mhm.
You cannot not move. You begin to draw in, you begin to, if you don't use your little gray cells, what happens to your mind if you don't exercise the mind? If you don't keep in motion, if you don't keep moving forward, and you're hey Mark, you're moving, you've accomplished a goal, you
Mhm.
celebrated the goal because you need to stop, you need to celebrate, you need to say, yay, I did it. But what's next? You can't just stop there.
Okay, so I'm looking at the definition of next, and it says, um, as an adjective, coming immediately after the time of writing or speaking, coming immediately after the present one in order, like one, two, three, four, and next. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Rank or space. So the next, as a noun, the next person or thing, the week after next. Uh, he plodded along next to him, side by side, meaning next to something. But what's next? Um, Here's some synonyms:
Yeah, go ahead.
beside, following, next door, adjoining. Close, succeeding. I think that's what we're talking about. What's
What
going to succeed
succeed?
this?
Yeah, what? And because we think
Hmm.
success, if you look at the root word, is succeeding. It is something that keeps going. Success does not just park.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
always moving forward. Succession,
Contiguous.
continuous.
Contiguous. Next to something.
Oh, contiguous. Okay, but it's
Uh-huh.
still
Uh,
moving.
Ordering.
Hmm.
Adjacent. Um, Second. Uh, approximate next to something, right? So, in other words, what's coming up next? What's adjacent to what we've been doing? What's closest to what we've just finished? What's next?
The succession to it, the
Mhm.
what's the next level, what's the next, because it could just be an improvement, it could be a tweak on something, doesn't necessarily mean you're just going to abolish the whole thing, but what are you going to do next?
Mhm.
Mark, you want to weigh in? Or Lakeisha? Hey.
Ensuing.
Yes. Go ahead, Mark. Oh, let me turn it up, hold on.
Yes, we can't hear Mark. Hold on.
That's probably because Mark is in my pockets with my AirPods.
Well, that's a problem. He's probably in your earpods.
Okay, Mark, go ahead. Still in my pocket. Hold on, let me try.
Hmm.
My AirPods keep connecting. Hold on a minute. Hold on, Mark. Hold on.
Good morning, everyone over here.
Mark, hold on a minute.
That's
I got to
fine.
turn my
Hi,
AirPods off.
Noreen. Good morning.
Okay, Mark, go for it.
One of the things that jumped back.
Hang on a minute. My AirPods keep trying to connect
I
in.
know you got to take them out the room and put them in the case because
Yes.
we continue to define success because so often people do not take the time to define it because it is an ongoing process. So how do you expect to achieve it or even know when you've achieved it? Okay. And so we often talk about the fact that we need to define a success for ourselves so that we know when we've arrived, right? We need to know the destination. So we may have actually achieved success, but because we didn't define it, we have no idea that we are there. Okay.
Mark, I'm going to ask you to go over that again because my technical issues.
Okay, I was just saying that one of the things that is so imperative for us, and it seems so obvious, but apparently it isn't because so many people do not take the time to do it, is we must define what success is for us. And this is not a one-time thing. This is something that's ongoing because as you grow, as the world changes, as life changes, your definition has to continue to be refined. So if you do not define success, not only do you have a lesser chance of achieving it, but you won't even know when you have if you haven't taken the time to do that. And that's something that everybody needs to continue to revisit for themselves. What is it? Why am I doing what I'm doing?
Thank you. Success, Shun. You've hit the milestone that you thought you wanted. What's next? So what is the new thing that's going to, what's the new thing? Well, I want to ask this. Before you add something new to the plate, you may want to consider, do you need to take something off the plate? There are only so many hours in the day. Your attention needs to be focused. Are you just improving on something or are you starting a whole new thing? And if so, have you made room for that new thing? Correct. Or are
So,
you
going to have mind clutter now?
well,
Trying to do 8 things.
with regard to the conversation today, what's next means that you've accomplished something.
You finished something.
You finished it, or finished a goal. It could have been a part of a goal for something. It didn't necessarily mean, because you're never really finished, is the point. You're not, you hit a milestone. Now you need to continue the journey. Go ahead, Mark.
Carolina, to that end, one of the things that I think is really important, aligned with what you said, is many people have a tendency to compartmentalize.
which means that they define success in terms of their work. And this is a big form of self sabotage, because what you are, the reason that most of us are working in some capacity is to create a life. So the definition of success really should be about your life, not just about your work, because work is a component. That's why, for example, when people come to me that want career counseling, I will not take them unless they let me into every part of their life, because, you know, the goal is about harmony, about all the pieces of your life working together to your intended end for the life that you envision.
Wow. Lakeisha, did you want to weigh in? Good to have you here, by the way.
Good morning. Good morning.
So you need to know what you want and what is the next thing on the list once you've accomplished that thing that you wanted. Okay, so I'm going to just go here. So you got into your ideal size or weight. So are you just going to stop and park right there, or are you going to continue the lifestyle? What's next? Because once you hit that number or once you hit that destination, it was a goal. It was a thing that to be acquired. But if it wasn't a lifestyle, what's next could not, you may not like what comes up next because you hit the number. Okay, I'm done with that. I can cross that off my list. Then you go do a different,
To a different subject altogether, huh?
Go back to what you were doing before because you crossed that off your list. I got that goal done. I got that checklist. I marked it on the checklist, but was it the lifestyle that you wanted to change? What's next? And I think what I'm hearing Mark say is whatever your choices are, it needs to be about your lifestyle or your life, not just a to-do or not just a to-do. Okay, I did that. Athletes, we see them all the time. They are, while they're in the moment and they are doing their athletics, they're in the gym and they're moving because that's what their job requires. But then once they get, oh, I don't have to run suicides anymore, or I don't have to do it anymore, so I'm not going to do it. And now you see them, physically out of shape and some other things.
When they're on the off season. Well,
Yeah.
Maureen says lifestyle and balance are key. Good morning, Dr. Tachi.
Yes, Dr. Tachi's over here too. Dr. Tachi, you want to weigh in? We're talking about what's next. You've accomplished a goal. You celebrated the win. Now what?
You can't look backwards.
Yeah, I like that.
I think I remember very well from track. Not that I ran track, I was the manager of the track team. Let me clarify that. I remember very well from track, the big thing was the coach always saying, don't look back. So you're there, almost at the end, but then you look back and that takes you out of going forward, right? So what happens, after you win the race, right? Or after you get to the finish line. It doesn't mean you're done. That just means there's another level for you to achieve, and whatever that means for you. Because if you're looking backwards, you can't progress. I always put things and frame things in terms of media. Look at Netflix. Look at Blockbuster. Look at all the people who were at the top of their game. Netflix is arguably, but they can quickly lose market share because look at Disney on their heels. So even though you are at the top of your game or you seem to be the only one at the time, the minute you rest on your laurels, right? The minute you look back and say, look at what we did from this year to this year, there's somebody else who's looking forward who then surpasses you. And that's not always a bad thing. It depends on what it is. But I think not looking back and not resting on what you've done, knowing there's more to do, is the way to go.
Thank you. Lakeisha, did you want to say something? I'm not sure if I saw your microphone move.
Great morning.
Great morning.
I was just gonna, reiterate what's kind of been said already. When you have a goal and you reach that goal, I mean, you have to. It's kind of like the end of the month. I don't know if you all do this, or if you have monthly goals or monthly things that you're going for, but they're kind of around about the 22nd or the 23rd of the month, you're kind of double dutching. You're finishing out your month, but you're planning for the next month as well. So the end of the month is for sure coming, right?
Right.
And sometimes, I know a lot of times when I've hit goals, there's a point, close to the end where I'm not necessarily sure, where I'm confident that I'm going to do it, but I don't know where I'm going to finish it. You know what I mean? And so I still have the next goal ready to go, the next thing ready to go, because as Dr. Tachi was saying, if you rest, if you celebrate, if you're looking back, there's a song that says it's not about what you've done, it's about what you're doing. So you have to set that goal, and then when you know that it's coming, the goal is coming, you're going to hit it. You want to kind of play double dutch and know what the next goal is, and then whether it's in life or it's in your career, it's in whatever is going on. Like right now, my son is in the 10th grade, so he has shared with me, he's kind of a planner, and he's almost 15, and he is has his whole thing planned out, of course, right? And of course, plans change, but in order to prepare for that, in order to prepare for, his junior year, because by his junior year, we will have already been applying for colleges and things like that. I mean, he's already gone on some college, had some college experiences and stuff. And so, as we still have to finish high school first, right?
Right.
Still finish high school, but at the same time, then we're pre-planning for what's to come after that. And he has 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, but so college won't be here for a couple of years, but we're still pre-planning for it now, because we can't wait to plan for it after he graduates. It'll be too late. It won't be too late, but it'll put him behind. He'll be behind as far as getting scholarships and where he's going to go. So you got to pre-plan before that. The first goal obviously is to graduate with high school with honors and do all the activities he wants to do to beef up his application and things like that. But at the same time, we gotta know where he's going to go after that.
Very well. That's very well stated. And I believe that's what I was trying to say, is what's next is planning the next thing. And I like that you said planning the next thing before the first thing is over. Very, very, thank you. That was insightful for me. Don't wait till you finish this goal before you set up the next one, as you see this one coming to a close. So, Terry.
Well, I just want to say that, when you are looking to what's next, I want you to consider how you're going to get there. Do you have the capacity to even get started? Have you finished, really finished the goal that you set? Did you accomplish that? And if not, have you reset the goal? What are you doing here? Take an assessment, if you will, of where you are before you go to what's next. Make sure that you're in a position to start something new. I see people going from this to that, to that, to that, to that, to next, to next, to next, and never finishing anything. Come on now, let's finish some stuff and then let's consider what's next.
Right. And if you have finished, I'm taking a page from Lakeisha. You start planning the next step, like in the financial classes that we hold. You start doing your financial plan
You do a
for
projection.
September. Your financial projections for September now. You don't wait till September gets here. You have things that are coming up. And Mark has a comment on here. He says, and you could have put it out in the open too, Mark, but assessment, what have you done well? What is the evidence that suggests that it's true? What could you have done to have been even more effective? How will you apply that wisdom as you move forward? Can we copy and paste that? Go ahead, Mark. Or Lakeisha, somebody was saying something. Or she might have been clapping. They still need to get a clap thing on Clubhouse. Assessment. What have you done well?
Mm-hmm.
What is the evidence that suggests that it is
True.
true? 3, what could have been done? Wait, what could have done? What could you have done? What could you have done to be even more effective? How will you apply that wisdom as you move forward? Okay, so that's really good. And I think
Lessons learned,
this is a
lessons applied.
mhm. And what are you going to do better?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe we should have this assessment after every goal,
Makes
after
sense.
every, you
It's
know,
it's it's like a plus delta. You're gonna assess what worked, what didn't work, what can I do more of, what can I do less of, and then how can I move forward?
Well, as you probably know from hearing me speak over the years, this is something that uh, I recommend experimenting, that people do this on a daily basis. Do it on a daily basis, because not only does it help you flex the muscle and get in the habit, but it actually accelerates your level of success, because you are making each day its own world, if you will, rather than a picture that's sometimes too large for people to digest. So it's, what is success for me today? How am I defining it today? What are the obstacles that I see today? How will I overcome them? And then at the end of the day, how did I do? What could I have done to have been even more effective? How will I apply that to tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
nice. Okay, so I think I'm going to be able to paste this in here. I'm liking Apple's new little deal. Let's see. So, no, that's not the word I'm looking.
Can I say something really quick?
Yes, ma'am.
With what Mark was saying, oh my gosh, that was so on point, because sometimes you hit a goal and someone asks you, how did you do it? And you don't have a clue how you did it. So if you're doing that assessment, each day, and you're asking yourself, what did you do great? What did you do that you can improve on? And it's for yourself as well. If you need to have a massive growth, if you need to, have a leap, and you've done it before, and you're not sure how you did it, you can always go back to those questions that you ask yourself daily, and you know what, I did this. You know what, I did that. You know, this did not work, or and then that way you're not doing things that didn't work to try to have that leap, and you're like, oh, well, that didn't work, so I don't understand. Well, it didn't work because it didn't work the first time. So you do what does work. And I think I heard Tyler Perry saying how, when he had the vision of getting his studio and whatnot, and how he had an opportunity before the studio where he was going to, I guess, sell his material. And then he figured out how Oprah was, making or so successful as far as the money she was making and things like that. And he was like, oh, she owns everything. So that's when he decided he wasn't going to sell. But he said, but then there were things that came up once I had the studio that I obviously hadn't been in that position before. But because of his relationship with Oprah, he could be like, she could be like, oh, I went through that in 1988. This is what you do for that. And so I say that to say, he didn't have to have his own, the same mistakes. He could, ask his mentor or whatever, things he could do to do whatever it is that he needed to do to not fall in the same, pits, if you will, or in some of the pits. So that's really good if you can ask yourself those things, and so that way you're able to build on what you were doing right instead of going back on, things that you weren't doing correctly.
Yeah, I put that in the chat over there. Let me know if you guys can access it.
Oh yes, I see it.
Yeah, that's good. And okay, so Mark is saying not wait till the first of the month or the end of the month or whatever. Do it every day. An everyday assessment.
I like the idea of having these daily assessments, because to me, I'm always concerned about leaving a legacy. And if I can leave a legacy of lessons learned so that people can avoid those potholes, then I consider that valuable also.
Right. So when we are talking about doing the assessments and all of these things, it is I guess it needs to now become a part of my routine, where I do this and making course corrections. I was listening to somebody there, a pilot. He said, when you're flying a plane, and you start here, like maybe you're going from California to New York, it's not going to be a straight shot. Even though you've plotted to be a straight shot, the plane is going to get off course all the time. It's constant course corrections. And these assessments, if we do the assessments every day, we will be making constant course corrections to get to where we want to go. Then, like Lakeisha said, before we land the plane, okay, what Uber am I taking after the plane is landed? How am I getting to my next destination? You don't just like, okay, I've arrived in New York and I'm off the plane and I'm standing there because I didn't plan out the next thing, the next step for what I needed to do.
Oh yes, because that's definitely a pet peeve of mine, to get somewhere and then have to wait an hour.
I tell you, my pet peeve, Lakeisha, is this. I do not like to be involved in projects where people are building the plane while they're flying it. It throws me off. I'm very structured. I want to know where are we going, so I can plan it out and know what time I'm arriving. And if something happens, okay, something happens. But I do like to plan ahead. For instance, I'm looking at a conference, and the people have no information Conference is supposed to happen in October. They haven't told us, you know, how much it's going to cost, what the agenda is. That okay, so you know, maybe you shouldn't be talking about this yet, because for me, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, because I just need more information before I even start to plan for it. Am I going to invest in a hotel? Am I going to invest in a plane ticket? And I don't know what's really happening. So, you know, different people have different needs when they are trying to do what's next.
Yep. So what's your next? Your particular next? Not mine, not Terry's, not Mark's. What's your next? And Mark's assessment tool here will help us figure some stuff out. And then doing what Lakeisha said, before you finish, start planning your next. This has been an excellent conversation. I want to thank everybody over here on Clubhouse, Lakeisha, Mark, and Dr. Tachi for weighing in. And for those who are watching live here on YouTube and Facebook. And I think we had Maureen in, and then we had some other people who are not necessarily saying anything, but
They
we just
stop
want to
by.
thank you.
Pachi stopped by it. Mm-hmm.
So coming up this Thursday, we'll be having a workshop, and we want to know what you'd like help with. Tell us a topic. I need to learn how to do blank, so that we can get some people in to help you get that done. So if you're part of the BizChicks community, you can go right on over there. Just say, hey, I'd like to learn about this. Send us a text, or let us know what you'd like to learn about.
So to join the BizChicks community, you can simply text Biz to 33777, or you can find the Heartbeat community over there on bizchicks.net. These two destinations will take you to Heartbeat, where you can sign up and become a part of our community. We'd love to share what you do with the others in the community so that we can support one another.
Right. And we'd like to feature you too, because you all have skill sets that's going to help. Like Mark, I think we need to do a workshop with Mark one day.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be a blessing?
Yes, and I'm talking paid workshop. So Mark, we need to talk. Because we need to make some assessments and get prepared for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's coming. Don't know exactly what's happening because we don't have a crystal ball, but we can kind of get a gist of what we need to get prepared for.
There you go.
Okay, so Mark, you have over here, here's the breakdown. Are we referring to
the note that we put up, or is this more?
Yeah, I don't want to sign off and you wanted to put something else in there. But I did put it, we did put the text, the information in Clubhouse.
And we want to thank you for subscribing, all of you who have subscribed over to our YouTube channel. And we are just excited to have you. We're going to be building up our channel. And also you can watch the replays over there if you have not already done so.
All right. Thank you all. Wait, got another comment here. Let me look. Oh, yeah. Lakeisha says absolutely 2023 we ought to be planning for. Yep, we should.
Also, Mark says, here's the breakdown. What is your intention for today? What is the evidence of success? How will you evaluate your success in that regard? What are the challenges / obstacles that you see? How will you overcome them? At the end of the day, how did you do? What could have done? What could have done to have been even, or what could you have done to be even more effective? How will you apply that to tomorrow? So you guys take a screenshot of that.
Yep, please do. And Mark, post that over in the comments on Clubhouse, please. Yeah, take a screenshot and apply it. And because we used to talk about that all the time. What's one takeaway from the day that you're going to apply moving forward? Because it's good to come together and chit chat on over coffee or water or tea or orange juice or whatever. But we need to put some things into action. And today we need to plan for what's next. 2023 is what's next on the horizon. And you had that list of 100 things that you wanted to get done.
Oh yeah.
So pick a couple of things off the list and maybe implement some of those things and check off, cross off, revisit the list. Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow. TJ will be here with her marketing and digital marketing and social media strategies to help us do a little better than that in that. And then Wednesday, Coach Karen will be here talking about money and our mindset. Thursday, we'll be talking about healthy habits. And then we'll be back on Friday talking tech so that we can implement some of these things like this tool that I just used. I was able to screenshot Mark's comment. And with the new operating system Apple has, I was able to screenshot, put it in, and then take the screenshot and select the text. And I was like, oh, this is so much better. And then instead of trying to figure out how to get the text over there. So we learn stuff like that on Fridays.
Okay, well, guys, we just want you to know it's okay to make money in your business.
Yes, it is.
So go to the front of your own line. We'll see you tomorrow. We look forward to it. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.